Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden world of software testing. But forget dry technical jargon. We're going to frame this as a full-on detective story, complete with clues, culprits, and, of course, case files. So here's how our detective story is going to play out. It's a 5-part journey. We'll start with preparing the investigation, then we'll execute the plan, see what happens when things inevitably go wrong, learn how to report the bug, and finally, we'll look at the never-ending cycle of fixing it. Okay, let's dive right in. Our detective, the manual tester, can't just start clicking around randomly, hoping to find something. No. A proper investigation needs meticulous preparation and exactly the right tools for the job. So what's in this toolkit anyway? Before our detective can even begin the hunt, they've got to get all their gear in order. What do they absolutely need? Well, it really boils down to 3 key things. First, they need the build. Think of this as the suspect, the specific version of the app they're investigating. Second, the environment. This is like a secured interrogation room, a private server where they can poke and prod the app without anyone in the real world knowing. And finally, the case files. These are their step-by-step instructions, telling them exactly how to question the suspect. All right, all the prep work is done. The scene is set. Now our detective starts the real investigation, and they follow those case files to the letter. And this isn't about having a hunch or a gut feeling, right? This is all about following a very systematic process. So, the first test is just a routine checkup. Can a new user register successfully? Our tester follows each step exactly as it's written, entering valid data into every field, just like a normal user would. After running through the steps, it's time for the moment of truth. They compare what the app actually did with what the test case said it should do. And in this case, it's a perfect match. The software did exactly what it was designed to do. Yep, a perfect match. The software behaved exactly as expected. So our detective marks this one with a big pass and moves on. But let's be honest, this is the easy part. Okay, finding what works is great. But the real fun, the real detective work starts when the application doesn't follow the script. This is where our detective's skills truly shine. Let's see what happens when a test fails. Okay, so this time our detective is actually trying to break things. They're deliberately throwing a wrench in the works. They go to register an account, but for the phone number, they put in a bunch of letters, obviously invalid data. And boom, this is where we find the problem. The app should have rejected this nonsense and thrown up a big warning message, but it didn't. It just let it right through and created the account anyway. Houston, we have a problem. And that right there is the aha moment. The smoking gun. Our detective has found a flaw, a bug in the system. And because the software failed to do what it was supposed to, this test is officially marked a fail. So, you've found the bug. Case closed? Not even close. Finding the culprit is just the beginning. Now our detective has to write a super clear, detailed report so the developers can actually understand the problem and, fix it. A good bug report has everything a developer needs. A unique ID number, a simple description, and the exact steps to see the bug for themselves. But look at those last 2 items, severity and priority. It's super important to know these are not the same thing. First up, we have severity. Think of this as the damage report. How bad is this bug really? Is it a tiny typo on a forgotten page, or does it crash the entire app for everyone? Our bug here is major. It's a serious problem for sure, but it's not a total system meltdown. And the tester is the one who makes this call. Then we have priority. And if severity is the damage report, priority is the dispatch order. How quickly do we need to fix this thing? Is it a drop everything lights and sirens emergency? This decision isn't up to the tester. It's usually made by project managers. A medium priority means, yeah, it needs to get fixed, but maybe not today. And here is the absolute key takeaway. High severity does not always mean high priority. You could have a bug that literally crashes the app. That's a critical severity. But if it only happens to 0.1% of users on a really old phone, the team might give it a low priority and fix other, more widespread issues first. It's all about balancing impact. Okay, let's move to the final act of our story. We're going to see how this one bug report kicks off a whole cycle of fixing and rechecking, because the detective's job is far from over just because they've filed a report. So the report goes out and the cycle begins. A developer codes a fix and sends a new build back to our detective. Now, the tester has 2 critical jobs. First, they rerun the exact same test to make sure the bug has actually been squashed. Then, and this is so important, they do something called regression testing. Think of it like checking for collateral damage. making sure that fixing one thing didn't accidentally break 5 other things. You know, this whole process is built on being incredibly diligent. A really good tester doesn't just see something weird once and yell, bug. No, they try to reproduce it maybe 2 or 3 times, just to be absolutely certain it's a genuine flaw in the code and not just some random one-off glitch. And this cycle, this loop of testing, reporting, fixing, and retesting, it just keeps going, sometimes for weeks until the software is stable enough to release. And here's why this matters to you and me. This rigorous and kind of hidden process is what makes the apps we use every single day reliable and safe. Which leaves us with one final big question to think about. We've just seen the incredible systematic detail that goes into hunting down these bugs. So if the process is this thorough, why do bugs still make it through to the final products that we all end up using?